So without further ado, what I want you all to do is, number one, make sure you've got your manual together. But I want you to get centered. Many of you, have heard me speak somewhere around the world, and you know the importance of having the right mindset, but not just, for the perspective of having a great attitude, but being in the right brainwave frequency, being in the right mindset to absorb information, to really learn. So it goes from that explicit memory system to the implicit memory system requires a couple different things. Number one is what I want you all to do is get both hemispheres, of your brain working synergistically or cohesively together. And a simple, easy way to do that is through a very, very light, simple meditation where all you've got to do is follow me and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just release. Make a conscious, mindful decision just to release all of your tension, your worries, your fears, your day-to-day stuff. Even if you've just awakened, all right, just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just feel yourself on demand relaxing right now. Then as you inhale and exhale, just release all tension. Anything that you may have been thinking about that was causing you a little bit of irritation today, or any worries you've got, or you think of the stress of the day, just breathe. Be aware of the inflow and the outflow. And the inflow and the outflow, of air and oxygen and any of the other gases that you inhale and exhale, all right, that give you life. It's really that simple, just to get centered. And the more you practice your breathing and the more you're mindful of releasing any of the negative thoughts or the anxiety that you might have or the fears that you might have, the easier it's going to be for you to get centered. Utilize your frontal lobe, the genius CEO that we all have available to us. The more you're going to deactivate the amygdala, which causes the stress to amp up in the motor cortex, your behavior, to move forward. So you want to be able to take control of the systems of your brain. Just like you learn how to drive a car efficiently, you learn how to utilize your brain efficiently. So today's session, all right, be with me right now. And you guys can chat all you want in the chat room. Today's session is all about how to get more done in less time. So I want to buy back some of your time for yourself so you work on the highest income or highest impact producing activities. And I'll explain to you what that means. The number one thing I want you to focus on is on the front page. It's on page number 2. And it's the combination of Pareto's law and Parkinson's law. And Pareto was an Italian economist who did research on sales organizations and wealth amongst individuals. And what he recognized was that no matter what industry or society that he looked at, 20% of the people owned 80% of the income. 20% of the revenues in a sales organization was being done by, 80% of revenue in a sales organization was being done by 20% of the salespeople. 80% of a company's revenues in most cases was being done by 20% of their products or service line. And Pareto's principle and law states the exact same thing, that 80% of your results are going to be due to 20% of your actions or activities. And so what I want you to be aware of, and what this session is all about, is how to manage the things that you do, whether you're an employer or an entrepreneur or a salesperson. It really makes no difference. How do you focus on the things that are the most important first? Parkinson's law states that a task, will swell in the perceived importance, the perceived importance and complexity based on the time that you allow for its completion. So the shorter the time frame you have to complete something, the higher the task is perceived by you and others around you. And so what if we took both of these, Pareto's principles and Parkinson's, okay, which are inverse laws, and we put them together. A friend of mine by the name of Tim Ferriss is the one who actually came up with this. I thought it was brilliant, and I'll give him credit for that. And so when you start to focus on the most important things first every day, okay, the high urgent stuff, and you give yourself a deadline and a timeline, a short deadline and timeline to achieve it, you amplify your effectiveness. Now, I want you to read that, and I want you to dialogue with the other members. Does this make sense? That when you learn how to focus on the right 20% and you give yourself shorter time frames, you will increase your urgency level and you'll increase the amount that you can get done. All right, so that is the Pareto law and the Parkinson's law in combination with each other. And what I want you each to do is turn over the page, and as you're dialoguing on there, the concept that I'm going to share with you is something that is my theme for this year. And the theme for this year is to do less better. Do less better and to completion. Now, why do I say that? Well, I say that because you're really busy. Family, kids, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, social clubs, hobbies, business, sales, marketing, all of the stuff that we have to do is keeping most of us in a state of overwhelm and stress on an ongoing basis. But we can stop being overwhelmed and stressed when we declutter what it is that we're doing and we adopt an idea and a behavior called do less better, and we add to that to completion. And so whatever it is that you do, make a decision that you're going to do it until it's finished. Now, here's a little question for all of you. Are you guilty of starting stuff and not completing it? All right, let me know. Okay, Mike, can you give me some feedback? Are you guilty of starting stuff and not completing what you're doing? Because if the answer is yes, just this one item alone will help significantly increase your productivity. So what kind of feedback are we getting, Mike?
We are getting guilty.
Guilty.
So, guilty. Makes sense to me.
Okay, good. So what you're going to find is if you're honest and serious with yourself, making a decision to do less to completion is going to help you a lot. The number 2 point, okay, and by the way, I'm going to give you about 6 of these, then we're going to go to Q&A, so we'll spruce it up a little bit with you asking me questions, and then we'll give you 6 more and then 6 more. So the next thing that you need to understand is not everything has the same value as far as productivity. And so what I want you to learn how to do every day is focus on the stuff that's the most urgent for you for the day. Now, the only way to know what's most urgent is to make a list every day of everything that you think needs to get done, and then do a balance between all the stuff that's on the list and what is the most important. What's the urgent stuff that has to get done? And then you need to break that down, as you'll see in a couple points. What are the highest impact producing activities in the time that you have allotted? And if you have a business or you're looking to make more money, what's the highest income producing activities? Now, some of you may not even know the answer to those questions. What's the most urgent? What's the highest income? What's the highest impact? This is where you have to take some time to plan your strategy and to take some time to really organize yourself, which is point number 3. Because when you take the time to ask yourself those questions, okay, then you can start working like a highly successful individual who plans an attack or plans a strategy and then implements the plan based on what's the most urgent first and takes into consideration what is the highest income producing activity based on my skills, my knowledge, the stage that I'm at, whether it's in my business, whether it's at my work, where I could increase my impact so that I can earn more money at my job, or even earn more money in my business. Most individuals don't take the time to really analyze some of these questions. What is my highest income producing activity? I don't know, most people tell me. I said, well, it's your job to know, okay? What is the most urgent? Well, once you look at a list, you can make those determinations. And so when you take time every single day to organize and simplify, what you'll find is you're going to start eliminating the chaos and the confusion. And chaos is a normal state of mind for most people. What they don't have, though, is a routine to eliminate the chaos. And that's step number 4, is to develop a daily, weekly, and monthly routine. So let me give you an example of what my routine is. Number 1, when I wake up in the morning, I do my visualizations, my meditation, my gratitude exercise, and that takes me about 45 minutes to an hour every morning. And I do that, by the way, in bed. I then get up, I go to my home office, which is by my library, and I take a look at my sheet that I have of the day before. And I look at what are the things that I accomplished, what are the things that I need to transfer over to the most urgent today, the highest impact producing activities, and the highest income producing activities. And then I like to write things down, so I rewrite all of those things every day. On Sunday night, and then I meet with my executive assistant, Aurora, and we review her list, we review my list, and then we create our plan for the day, and then it's go until the following morning. Now, you may not have an executive assistant, but you can get an accountability partner, which I'll talk to you a little bit later on, or you can have a coach, or you can have a consultant work with you on making sure that you're doing the highest income, highest impact producing activities, and the most urgent ones first. So daily you do that to plan your day. And I don't spend time, I invest 15 to 20 minutes a day doing it on my own. And Aurora and I, for example, invest about 30 minutes a day planning her day and my day so that we achieve maximal effectiveness. Every Sunday night, I invest about an hour looking at my week. And then every month, I invest several hours looking at the month and the quarter. And so daily, weekly, and monthly, you can start to plan out, okay, how to use your time most effectively based on the goals and the targets and the objectives that you have to meet. And you could do this for your personal life, you could do this for your business life, you could do this for your life as an employee as well. The system works across all 3 of those domains. Number 5 is all about taking baby steps. Now, depending on the routine you have now, depending on the habits you have now, or the lack of the right habits, what I want each one of you to do is to commit to doing this in baby steps based on where you're at. So I don't want you to meet me where I'm at. I want this system and this process and program to meet you where you're at. So if you take, okay, I'm going to do, number 1 and 2. I'm going to do that for the next week or 2. I want you to take baby steps until you can run with this, all right? So I'm going to give you a whole process and system that's 18 points long, and you can use any portion of this to get started. One of the first steps that I want every one of you to do, and then we're going to go to Q&A, all right? I'm going to do these in about 15-minute increments, is clear the clutter in your life. That means the clutter in your office, the clutter in your home, the clutter in your business. Invest some time to get rid of the junk, okay? Because if there's junk out there, there's junk in here. Clear the clutter. What I do to help me with this is I accumulate a lot of research and documents and books and paper. I actually put them in a pile if I'm not going to use it right away. And every Friday, I use that as my decluttering day, my chaos to organization day, and my time to be able to look through the piles that I've got that I haven't either used or needed, and I clear the clutter every single week. Now, for me, just so you know, that's an adaptive or learned behavior. My natural propensity is to be disorganized, but I also know the power and the value of being organized, because once you're organized on your desk and you're organized in your head, then you have all the time to implement all of these strategies and to be highly effective. Now, what I also want you to understand is this isn't just theory or principles. These are time-tested techniques that you can apply that I guarantee you, when you apply these techniques, you will multiply your effectiveness, you'll declutter your head, you'll remove chaos from your life, you'll reduce your stress level, you'll increase your productivity level, which means one thing: you'll have more time, you'll be less stressed, and you'll be able to focus on whatever it is that you want to accomplish or achieve, whether it's getting a raise, whether it's getting an advancement in your company, whether it's building your business or building a side business. Either way, when you start to use your time better and you use these techniques, you become a more effective human being. Hence, do less and achieve more. And here's the one thing that I've learned. The individuals that I know that are billionaires and multimillionaires, or the ones that just get so much packed into a day, a week, a month, are no smarter than you and I with PhDs or degrees or even experience. But it is the person who knows how to manage what they do when they do it that achieves success. And I've always said, when you have the right information in the right order and you apply it, you will meet success faster and easier than anybody else, okay, who doesn't follow that process. The right information in the right order, applied at the right time, is the key to any success. It's like a recipe, whether the recipe's in Sydney, Australia, or Brisbane, or Melbourne, or Perth, where I just was at, and I loved it there, by the way, all right, or you're in Alaska. It doesn't matter. You follow the recipe, you follow the guidelines, and you can increase your predictable success, is what I call. All right, so you've heard me talk for a few minutes here. Let me give my breath a break. I can ask my team for a glass of water. That would be great as well, if it's possible. And let's go to some Q&A. So you have two options for Q&A right now. And the more you participate, the more you try, even though this might be new for you, to all my friends down under, all right, the more fun we're going to have, the faster we build the community, the faster you meet other people. So you have two options right now, is you can ask a question in the chat room live, and Mike will field some questions that he thinks is pertinent to a lot of people. Or you can hit star on your telephone if you're also listening on the Maestro Conference Bridge, and Jennifer will put you on live with me, and I'll be able to answer your questions. So we've got two options for you.
John, let me just interject there.
Okay.
Instead of star, they'll just press 1 on the phone key.
Just press 1 on your phone key. I stand corrected. And by the way, are you having fun? Are you learning a few new things? Can you use, just in the first 15, 20 minutes, to all my friends all over the world, all right, can you use just some of what I've taught in the first 15, 20 minutes? And when you apply it, will it make a difference, okay, in your life? Will it or will it not? So let us know. So, Mike, do you want to go with some questions first, or should we go with Jennifer? Let's go with Mike. Let's do online right now, and let's have some questions. So who's it from?
Sean Ellings.
Hey, Sean.
Can we have John elaborate more on his first 3 steps in the morning by using examples from each one of the 3?
Great. Okay, so the question was, can John elaborate on his first 3 steps in the morning? And can you elaborate on each? Okay, so when I get up, the first thing I do is I ask myself, hold on one second, I'm just getting my glass of water. And like I said, this is live and this is family. So I ask myself, what am I most grateful for about my health right now? What am I most grateful for around wealth right now, my finances? What am I most grateful for in my charitable contributions? So I ask myself in the different areas of my life, what I'm most grateful for. That gives me the right vibration that I want to be in. Then, because I've been reviewing my goals every day for years and years and years, I have them laminated on my documents. Let me actually, this was not in the script, but I can tell you that I have all of my goals, okay? You can all see me, all of my goals written out. And these are laminated. So this is a story around my health, my wealth, my relationships, my career, my spiritual connectedness, my charities. I have listed out here my perfect day, my winning daily formula. I have all of these laminated sheets that I have next to my bed in my briefcase, which is right here next to me. And I review each section of my life, and I visualize each section of my life as if everything that I've written down is real and true and happening right now. And I emotionalize it. I feel it, visceral feeling, as if it was true. Then I continue into a meditation. And I do a variety of meditations. One meditation that I can do, depending on how I feel, is listen to the neurotraining system that every one of you is listening to. Now, I've been listening to this type of material for years and years and years. So some days I listen to one of the tracks, either in the business program or in the money program. There's two different programs people are using that are on this live coaching and training session. And some people that are on money program, you use that. Some people that are on the business program, you use that. Some people use both. So I will either listen to one of the neurotraining tracks, or I'll do a different meditation where I just close my eyes and I focus on no thoughts, zero thinking, zero thoughts. And I learn how to control my own brain. And in that controlling my own brain, I tap into this field of intelligence and this field of connectedness, knowing that I am one with that which created me, with you, with everything in the universe. And that's where I get my sense of power from. It's not because of knowledge, it's because I know that I'm one with that which created me. And I know that that is the spiritual power that's in every one of us. I hope I answered that question thoroughly for you. And this is the type of feedback that I love, is what's important to you. So question number 2, Mike.
Question 2 from Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Galley. Sorry about the
Bobby
pronunciation.
Galley. Or
I
something like
have
that.
clutter everywhere. Every flat surface in nearly every drawer, box, etc. How best to start?
Great.
2 hours a day on clutter, and others are organizing, or simply get the clutter organized first?
Awesome. Great question, Bob. So if you've got a lot of clutter, okay, it's going to be a situation where, depending on how much clutter, follow rule number 5 and take baby steps. So allocate a percentage of your day to clearing the clutter. And so if it's 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, that's up to you. What we want to do, and you're going to see in number 17 states, no, not number 17. Anyway, one of the processes here is focus on progress, not perfection. I'll get to that. And so, Bobby, what I want you to do is focus on progress. Every one of you, if you could have a little bit of progress every day, so that when you went to bed at night, okay, you just said, you know what, I got stuff done today. I was successful in getting things done. You start to develop a habit of getting things done. And when you develop a habit of getting things done, you feel good. When you feel good, you're going to release dopamine in the brain. When you release dopamine in the brain, you're going to feel better. And you get addicted to that great feeling of being highly productive. All right, Jennifer, do we want to go to Maestro Conference for 1 or 2 questions?
Absolutely. Okay. We have Norma Ray. And,
Hi, Norma Ray.
Want to go to Maestro Conference for 1 or 2 questions?
Norma, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Norma.
Hi, welcome.
Norma Ray,
What's
how are
your
you?
question?
Okay. Hi, John. Hi, everybody.
Hi there, Norma Ray.
Hi. So I have one question, but maybe 2. My question is, okay, so I'm a musician, and I spend hours and hours and hours creating music and producing it, which in itself, it's my passion, but it's really time-consuming. But very recently, I discovered the marketing, the online marketing business, and I find it very interesting. So I'm now starting to learn it, but I'm really a baby. And my question is, when you have such, well, these things are different, obviously, music and marketing. And so how can I organize my time to to be effective, because I feel like it's overwhelming to
Yes.
discover something new, and I spend hours reading everything I can about marketing, but then I don't make music anymore. So
Great.
what would be your advice to manage those
Awesome.
things?
Great question. Now, here's one of the biggest challenges that we all have: managing multiple disciplines and complexity. So if you're a business owner and you're also creating your products or delivering your services, you have sales, management, marketing, finance, legal, product development, customer service, and I can go on, because each one of those areas has got 100 other things that need to get done. So the question that you've got to ask yourself is, based on my skills and unique abilities, what should I be doing versus getting done? Now, a high impact activity is to learn marketing, but not if it's not your propensity or your passion or your love. So what I always teach people to do is this. Write this down, okay? This is critically important. Hire people who play at things you have to work at. Hire people who play at things you have to work at. And if you can't afford to hire them for whatever reason, barter with them. If you can't barter with them, defer the payment to them. If you can't defer the payment to them, partner with them. And so hire, barter, defer payment, or partner with people who are going to help you get all the other things done. Now, some of you are saying, well, I don't know who to barter with. I don't know who to even get to help me. Well, if you don't know, it's your job to find out. All right? If you're trying to build a side business because you're an employee somewhere, or you're trying to, make money in real estate, or you're trying to make money in the stock market, you have to have time for learning what you need to learn, as well as implementing what you need to implement. And so you have to ask yourself, how much time do I have in a day? So let's say each one of us has 10 hours a day. What percentage of the time do I want to invest in the high income, high impact producing activities? And only you know what it is for you. And if you don't know, then my point number 7 is going to be coming very handy for you. You're going to need to hire either a coach or consultant to help you, or you're going to need to get an accountability partner who has skills in the areas that you don't, because there's no way that you can get it all done effectively and efficiently as well as it can be done. So you have to learn how to manage your time and your resources really well. And as a musician, to learn marketing and sales, it's probably not the highest use of your time, other than learning it on a general perspective. But you want to get somebody else who plays at that, like you play at writing music and performing. You want to have somebody else who plays at the other stuff as well. And again, hire it out, barter it out, defer payment, or partner. Okay, does that help you with that question?
Yes. Thank you, John. You're great.
You're
yes.
welcome, Norma Ray.
It's giving me some ideas.
Good. And that's why we want, and that's the other reason we're building this community of like-minded people around the world. You all have goals. You all have dreams. You all are good at certain things and not good at other things. So what we want you to do is interact with each other, all right, and find your accountability partner. Find people, in the community that can help you and that you can help as well. So you want to be a go-giver, giving of your help, and you want to be a go-getter as well as finding the help that you need. All right, let's move to number 8, because I'm running a little short of time right now. Setting your goals in writing and your tasks and prioritizing them is something that very few people do, and it's the cause of their chaos and confusion. And so what I want you to do is get really good at taking time to plan your trip. So think about this. When you go on vacation, you take the time to pick your destination, decide how you're going to get there, decide where you're going to eat, what beaches you're going to go to, what ski hill you're going to ski. You plan a lot of your trip in advance, and you prioritize it based on the amount of time that you've got. Well, what I want you to do is set your goals and your objectives and the tasks that you have, and then prioritize them into your daily, weekly, and monthly prioritization list. This is going to take some use to for some of you, but writing your goals and tasks down every day, every week, every month, and reviewing them, that's the same as being the captain of a ship that's got his or her coordinates, and they're just steering the boat in the direction that they want to achieve. Then this part here is really, really critical, and that is urgency zones. And what do I mean by urgency zones? Well, if you broke down all of your tasks into urgent, highest impact, highest income, and you looked at them and you wrote down next to each one of the things that you need to get done or want to get done, is this urgent? If it's urgent, you put an A next to it. If it's high income, you put HI next to it. If it's high impact, you put HIP, high impact, okay? Or HIM, whichever you prefer. All right? Why do you want to do that? Well, you want to do that because you want to take care of the urgent things first every day. See, if you were able to do the urgent things in the first 2 to 3 hours of the day, you would become so much more effective. If you then focused on, depending on whether you're an employer, okay, or an employee, what is the highest impact producing activities for me right now? So if you're looking to get a promotion, there are going to be certain things that when you do those is a high impact activity that you get noticed, you move forward, you make advancements, you really are leading your way. If you're in business or you're an investor, whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market, whatever it is, you want to be focusing on high income producing activities. And so whether that's sales or marketing or prospecting, okay, whatever it is that's causing you to actually be in the game, okay, racking up revenues, that's high income producing activities. And you need to know the difference between what's high impact that's going to lead to revenues or lead to something else that you need in your business or your investing, and what's high income, right? So if you're a real estate investor, okay, high impact is research. High impact is looking at properties. High income is making offers to buy properties, investing in the stock market once you've done the research. Urgent things are things that you know what they are. They come up every single day. So if you break down your day into high income, high impact, and urgent methodologies and thinking, you now can slot your time so that you have every day some time to make money, every day to focus on the high impact activities, and every day to take care of the urgent things. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this because if you don't start to organize your thinking and your behaviors in this way, then you're going to be all over the map. And you're going to be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and get distracted all over the place. And when you start to prioritize what's important to your goals, to achieving of your goals, that's when you are going to start seeing better results, because now you're managing your events and you're managing those events in the time allotted, and then you don't get distracted. The other thing that's going to come up is stuff that you want to do in the future. So in the future, which is point number 9 on page 5, is you take the stuff that's not urgent, not high impact, not high income today, and you move them out by a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And most of those things are going to drop off the list anyway. But this is a way of organizing your day. And what I was looking for before is number 10, all right, is if every day you have the attitude that I'm going to focus on progress, making progress on my high income, high impact, and my urgent things over the course of a week, a month, 3 months, a year, you are going to be so highly productive. Most people underestimate what they can get done in a long period of time, and overestimate what they can get done in a short period of time. So give yourself some time and make progress every single day. The other part that I'm going to share with you right now, actually, right now I'm going to go back to Q&A and ask, do you have any questions regarding number 7, 8, 9, or 10? 7, 8, 9, or 10. So Mike, for those of you all over the world, if you've got some questions, just type it in and we'll take 2 or 3, and I'm going to continue.
Okay, from Amici Jukwa.
Amici Juqua. Hi, Amici.
I've applied the said strategies for a while only to go back to my old routine. How can I maintain consistency and form a habit with these strategies?
Awesome. One of the best ways that I know of to form a habit is point number 7, and that's an accountability partner, a coach or a consultant that you are accountable to. An accountability partner could be your spouse, a significant other, somebody who's not going to let you off the hook. And there are 2 things that motivates us. Okay, some people move more away from fear or a negative consequence, and other people move towards a pleasurable thing. But we do more to avoid pain than we do to gain pleasure. So here's what I'd like you to do. Commit to a new habit and a new behavior. Get an accountability partner, a coach, or a consultant, whatever you like, okay? If you're in need of a coach, make sure you contact us so we can put you in touch with Jennifer Bailey. That's number 1. And then create consequences for not achieving your desired habit or not doing it on a consistent basis. So let me give you an example. I gave this idea to some friends of mine who were in a mastermind group together. And one of the women that was in this mastermind group loves to sleep in and loves her 10 hours a night of sleep. Well, guess what her consequence was if she didn't do what she said she was going to do? She had to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go for a walk at 2 o'clock in the morning in her neighborhood, which is a gated community. And she did that one time, and she says, I'm never doing this again. And she got back onto the routine and kept it going. And guess what? Today she has the new behaviors as a habit. So what you want to get is leverage on yourself. And we'll do more to avoid pain or a negative consequence than we will to gain pleasure. So come up with a negative consequence that will cause you some pain, not physical pain, but more emotional pain, and use that as leverage. All right? Jennifer, do you have anybody that we can ask or can ask a question on Maestro?
You know what? I don't, but if you have a question, please raise your hand. Press 1 on your keypad of your telephone.
If you have a question and you're on Maestro, you can press 1 on your keypad. And I need a time check as well, Patrick, please. Let me know. Thank you. I'm going to go through this entire list in the next go. All right. And obviously, we've created enough information for you, in the document that you can read it and start to apply it. Mike, do you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question from Linda Lou Starr.
Hi, Linda Lou Starr. Hold on a second. Linda Lou Starr, I want to thank you for participating in the members-only Facebook fan page on a consistent basis. I love your comments and love your interaction there. And for those of you who are not on there yet, make sure you join our Facebook fan page, not fan page, but our Facebook page just for the members of this community. So Linda Lou Starr, your question is?
All right. Hold on a second. It scrolled away from me. I could really use help on managing emails. I have so many emails right now because of business and brain training information. I can barely scan through them, sort through them, get them into folders, and not having time to go back through the folders to read them once again.
Awesome. Well, that's great. We're going to talk about that in the next few steps, okay? The next few steps, points number 10 to number 14, is exactly around emails and phone calls and stuff like that. So we'll come right back to that, Linda Lou. Michael, do you have any more?
Yes, I do.
Let's take another one here. Again, we want to keep these sessions really, really tight. And as you know, as Gold members, we have our chat sessions as well. And we're doing some great expert interviews. I think you've hopefully enjoyed the last few of them. Jennifer, if you've got a question from somebody, we can go to you.
I do. I do, and it's Agnes.
Hey, Agnes.
Oh, hello, Agnes. What is your question? Agnes, are you there?
All right, Agnes is not there, so let's go to somebody else, please. I feel like Larry King when I do these shows. We've got the Q&As, and we've got the moderators, and lots of good stuff happening. Are you enjoying this so far? Are you learning lots and enjoying it so far?
I've got a question.
Okay, Mike, let's go to Mike for a question.
From Helen Sonobi.
Hey, Helen.
John, you mentioned in today's and previous calls about the importance of doing the right thing in the right order and taking the right action. Where does one get information to learn what are the right strategies and tactics, and what is the right order and the right action to take?
All right, so it's doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Okay, doing the right things in the right order at the right time. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Let's say that you want to lose weight, okay? We know that you probably need to change your diet. We know that you probably need to exercise. And we know that you need to be consistent. So the right thing in the right order. So for example, just about every trainer will tell you to start off with protein in the morning, followed by your exercise if you're doing weights and gaining weight. That's the right order, at the right time. If you're trying to lose weight, or what I prefer to do is release weight, you'll actually do cardio exercise first in the morning before you have any food or any protein. And you'll eat afterwards to replenish your glycogen stores. So for every result that we want in our life, whether it's making money in business, whether it's having a great relationship, or getting into great shape, there is the strategies and the tactics, the what we need to do, the how we need to do it, that has an order to it, just like a recipe for a cake does, or a recipe for your favorite dish that you cook or that you like to eat. There is an order in which the ingredients go in to ensure that the outcome is predictable. And so what you have to do, whether it's in business, your career, or your personal life, is you need to get the right information, about the outcome that you want in the right order. So what happens first, what happens second, what happens third, what's the sequence that you need to follow in order to make sure that the effort that you put in is going to give you a predictable result. Too many people have things in the wrong order, and so they don't achieve the success, even though they're working really hard. And so depending on what your result is, then you figure out what the sequence is and what the recipe is, and then you apply it. That's what I mean by the right thing in the right order at the right time. Every result that you want to achieve has a sequence to it. And if you follow people who are achieving that success, you could predictably replicate that success, all right? So let me share with you a process that I use as often as I can. I'm not saying, by the way, that I'm perfect at any of this. I use this entire system probably 60-70% of the time. I'd like to get to more, but it works 60-70% of the time like magic. So number one, if you've got emails, Linda Lou or anybody else, if you've got any type of mail or any type of a pile that you're working with, you want to have this process in place. You set aside time, chunks of time, to go through your emails or to listen to your voicemails or to look at your regular mail, for example. And you do it right there. You take action right there. You delegate it to somebody else to do it. You defer it, or you delete it. So do it, delegate it, defer to a later time because you need somebody else's input, you need to do research, or you need some more information, or you just delete it. Now, the reason I say that you do all of this in a chunked period of time is if you set time aside, let's say in the morning and maybe at night, to review your emails and make a decision of doing it, dumping it, delegating it, or deferring it to a later time because you don't have the block of time available now, you will only do that activity in 1 or 2 sittings. And that's called chunking your time. It's also called allocating time to the things that you have to get done. Now, if you open up your emails, for example, and you look at it and you don't do anything with it, then you look at it again, you don't do anything with it, and you look at it again, you don't do anything with it, usually it's because you're distracted because you have other things to do. But if you have blocked out a piece of time to get this stuff done because it's important or it's urgent, then guess what? You'll find the time to do it. And so I have 3 folders that I look at in the mornings. One is my urgent folder. The other is my do it today folder. And the other is my read it and get it done at a later date. I usually never get to that read it at a later date and do it folder because I have so many things in my do it today or my urgent folder. And so if it's something that I can't get to, I just can't get to it. You can't be everywhere and be everything to everybody. So numbers number 11 through 14, or no, 13, do it, delegate it, defer it, or I call dump it or delete it. And then number 14, which is critical, is you've got to use one system that integrates your whole life. So I personally use an Outlook, okay, program on my computer that integrates with my iPhone. So everything that we do on my iPhone integrates with my home computer and integrates with my business computer, and everything is one system. So I use the Outlook program to help manage my tasks. So if my executive assistant is working on my computer and makes additions or deletions to my calendar or my emails, then guess what? It happens simultaneously on my cell phone, which is sitting somewhere over here, and that way I have one system to use in order to manage all of my affairs, as opposed to having sticky notes and post-it notes and emails and paper and everything. So when I, for example, take notes, all right, I'll either have the notes typed and entered into a folder on my computer, or I'll scan the notes and put it into a software program that I can click one button and have access to all of my notes. So the whole idea with number 14 is to create a system, okay, that works for you. I don't care what the system is, okay, depending on what your propensities are, you want to create a system for you. Number 15, and this is something that is critical for every one of you, is you've got to learn how to turn off your cell phones. You've got to learn how to turn off your Skype. You've got to turn off your telephone, and you've got to turn off all distractions when you are focusing on your highest impact producing activities or your highest income producing activities, or better yet, your urgent things. Too many people allow distractions, other people's distractions for the most part, and what I call soft addictions, to distract them from doing the really important critical things. And many people are suffering from doing the critical or doing the trivial many instead of the critical few things that are required. And so if you want to get really good about productivity and about doing more in less time, you must eliminate and delete your distractions. And don't make other people's distractions and their goals, their urgencies, their highest income or impact producing activities control you. That is the sign of somebody who's not managing their mind or their time. Number 16, okay, is being mindful. What does being mindful mean? Being mindful means that you're going to start paying attention to what you're doing, what you're not doing, where you're being proactive, where you're being reactive, where you're utilizing your time effectively, and where you're wasting it. It means that you're going to be in the moment paying attention. And if you've been on any of these calls before, you've heard me talk about your intention plus your attention with no tension is what helps you cause the results in your life. And so intention, attention, and no tension happens from being mindful and aware of what you're doing. Why aren't you doing what you should be doing? And paying attention to that state. Number 17 is one that I love, and it's called Tame Your Chaos and Eliminate Your Tolerances. Tame your chaos and eliminate your tolerances. What does that mean? Most people, when you look into their lives, have chaos all around them. Their personal life is in chaos, their business life is in chaos, their work life is in chaos. And some of these processes is going to help you tame the chaos. And how do you tame the chaos? You get the chaos out of here, you become mindful, and you start to organize your goals, your objectives, your tasks in your urgent, high income, high impact priority activities. All right? You take the steps that I've just shown you and you start to tame the chaos. And then the tolerances that you have in your life. You are tolerating behavior that you don't like about yourself right now. You are tolerating behaviors in other people that you don't like, that aren't to your taste right now, and you're tolerating it, and you're living with that resentment and anger and that toleration. And that toleration is a negative vibration within you and around you. So I want you to ask yourself a question. In order for me to stop tolerating things that are going on with myself, and in order for me to stop tolerating things that are going on with other people, how can I kindly, gently, and lovingly, release and eliminate those tolerations? Kindly, gently, and lovingly release or eliminate those tolerations. And as you ask yourself that question, the answers will appear, and then I want you to take action. And I want you to be accountable to somebody for releasing those tolerances in your life. And then number 18, last but not least, I'm trying to keep all this together in an hour, all right, is learn to say no. Now, why am I saying this? Well, because all of us have been taught, help other people. You know, do as much as you can to help your family, your friends, and other people. And we have a default mode that is, yes, oh yeah, I can help you. Oh, sure, I'll get that done. Oh yeah, and we pack on more stuff than we pack on camels going through a jaunt in the desert. And what I want you to start with, number one, is self-respect of your time, which means you're going to focus on what you need to accomplish to be more successful so you can buy back as many of your hours as you want to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, with whom you want to do it on your own schedule. And the best way to do that is to be slightly selfish in what and who you say yes to. So if you start with, no, I'm really busy. No, I've got some urgent things I have to take care of. No, I've got some things I've committed to already. See, if you make a commitment to yourself, that's a commitment. And it's a very important commitment. And if you make a commitment to doing the things you need to do that are high income, high impact, and urgent, then you're not lying, you're being truthful. And when you do that, starting now, right now, then what you're saying to yourself is, I'm important. My goals are important. What I want to accomplish and do with my life is important. And when you do that, then you become more successful. When you become more successful, you have more options. When you have more options, you can help more people. And when you focus on the critical few things versus the trivial many things, that's when you really become highly, highly productive, and you get more done in less time.